Welcome back to No Substitutes, the show where I have some of my favorite people on and we talk about what ingredients make them who they are. This week, I have a very special guest. I'm sure you guys all know who she is. She has won over 40 awards in the adult entertainment industry. Very talented actress, also very good taste in movies and music. And also my new best friend. Welcome, Jenna Haze.
Hello. I appreciate the end part the most.
Yeah. I know. You guys don't know this yet, but we have a little trip planned.
We do. We have a girls' trip
We
planned.
have a girls' trip planned.
Yeah, we're going to Japan.
I feel like you're really going to love Japan.
I'm very excited. I'm so excited to be going with you because, like I said, I've never done a girls' trip before.
Aww.
And I'm so excited that you're the first person I'm going to go with. We're going to have so much fun.
I know.
If it's anything like our dinner.
Oh, exactly.
You know?
I'm like, every dinner is going to be that, but for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Well, let's not make everyone jealous.
I know. Sorry, guys.
They can't come.
You guys can't come, but have you ever been out of the country yet?
Oh, yeah. I've traveled extensively all over Europe.
Love it.
I went on tour with my ex-boyfriend's band many years ago, and so we went all over Europe.
Love
I've also
that.
been to the Hot Dior Awards back in the day where I won Best American Performer.
Wow.
There's also there's that German, the Venus, I think,
Venus,
convention that I've been to as well.
Okay.
And then I've also been to Fiji, Australia, 8
Wow.
or 9 times.
Okay, never mind.
But I have the only 8 places I've been in Asia have been Malaysia for 3 days on tour with my ex, and then Thailand, Bangkok for 1 night, and that was it. And
I feel like Asia specifically, you would really like, I don't know, their pace of life. They're all very, I don't know, it's just very good energy there, especially Japan.
Japan is the place in Asia that I've been I want to go there.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm so
when you brought it
excited.
up at dinner, I was like, It started percolating in my brain, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yay, excited. Well, let's jump into it. Okay. What are 3 ingredients you would say you need for your profession? Sorry, it's been a couple weeks. I'm all rusty. But yeah, and by ingredients, I mean, qualities.
Okay. Well, what profession are you talking about of mine? Are you talking about my therapy profession? Or are you talking about?
I think just Jenna Haze as a whole, because you're such an anomaly and you've done so many you've done so much and have lived many lives at this point. So I think maybe take one from each.
Okay, well, I think that in order to be a successful adult film star, you have to be open to experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also have to have a skill with implementing boundaries.
Very much.
And you also have to have a confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, because there's a lot of stigma, that comes with it. And so you have to have a level of a certain amount of thick skin. You have to have
For sure.
a certain amount of confidence, a certain amount of self-esteem and belief in yourself in order to withstand that sort of stuff.
For sure.
As far as therapy, obviously being licensed is important.
Yes.
Being educated, of course, also comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think being empathetic, being sympathetic, being a good listener, non-judgmental stance is so important in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with the adult stuff, it also you have to have confidence, right?
Yeah.
You have to have charisma.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have something about you that draws people into you,
Right?
Because we're dealing with a very intimate act, right? And a very intimate thing. So when people watch the movies, they develop kind of a relationship with you in a way, like a fantasy relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have that magnetism to draw the people in, you're not going to have that sort of fan base or that sort of connection with your fans through your films.
Mm-hmm. I love that those kind of go hand in hand. You've mastered the intimacy of the physical world and now the mental.
Yeah, well,
and kind of emotional in between both of those.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of overlap, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that because I was an adult film star, now that I'm in psychotherapy, I think it's helped me actually, because I have already worked with a lot of intimate topics. I have already delved to the depths, whatever you want to say, however you want to say, and I think that that's beneficial. I think that there's more overlap than you would think. Before it was like I was dealing with the human experience in one way, and now I'm dealing with the human experience in a different way.
That's kind of what I always tell people when it comes to my career in cooking versus the adult entertainment industry. Like, I like to fulfill needs of others, and also, I don't know, it's like a very, I don't know, consumption sort of art.
Yeah.
Both. But yeah.
I get it. I mean, I want to inspire people, right? I want to help people. I want to help change their life in a positive way, whether it's through the use of videos or movies, or whether it's the use of therapy techniques.
Mm-hmm. Have you considered maybe, because I feel like I see, jobs like intimacy coordinators or like set therapists kind of are becoming a thing. People are starting to realize, not only in Hollywood, but of course in our industry, that it's important to do these like mental health check-ins. Have you considered maybe doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I saw you're an intimacy coordinator, right?
Yeah,
I was going to actually ask you about that.
Yeah.
I've thought about doing consulting for like movies
sure.
and even adult sets and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely necessary, the mental health aspect in my former industry, our industry.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's something that got kind of neglected for a long time. And now we're seeing a lot more of a rising in awareness about mental health in the industry. And so we have like Pineapple Support and things like that. And there's a lot more talking about it. But I would love, like, it's my dream to be like the industry, like psychologist, like
that would be
like
amazing.
The industry expert on it all.
I would start shooting it if I was like, saw your name on the call sheet and was like, oh, we have a set mom today. We have a set therapist today who's gonna like.
That would be so fun. That would be so fun. I got booked for a acting role on an adult set next month, actually. And
I think we talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm booked for that, and I think it's I just totally forgot what I was going to say because you
sorry.
You just look so pretty, and then I got like all distracted, and then I was like, oh wait, what did I say? What was I talking about again?
No, but that, I don't know. I would love that. Maybe I'll try to get on that movie.
You should try to get on that movie. I mean, we should shoot something just for fun, anyways.
We should. Yeah. I'm like, especially when we're in Japan, I'm like, safe for work stuff, but also
we're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah. I'm like, who knows?
Who knows?
How did you celebrate winning Best New Starlet in 2003?
Oh, wow. Okay. So winning Best New Starlet was my second award. That same year, I actually won. The first award I won of the night was Best Solo Scene.
Wow.
And so, yes. And so then later that night, I went on to win I think that's the way it happened. I don't know. I mean, we're talking, 22 years ago? But yeah, so I won both of those in one night. And so I was very, very proud. We went with all the girls. I was a JKP contract girl, so Jill Kelly Productions.
Okay.
And I was one of their contract girls. I was dating their cameraman at the time. And so we all went out to this bar that I had like reserved in Vegas at one of the hotels. And we had reserved like a table. There was a little reserve sign. I actually still have it on my desk at home. It's still there. I'm very sentimental. I save everything. Like I actually have to go through and like regularly purge because I will save everything. And yeah, we had drinks and we danced on the table and we had a really great night, and that was, I don't know if they do it now, but for a while there, they would like give you a fake award on stage and then you get your real award like mailed. And so, but at that point, they actually gave me my award, I think. And so I was all excited.
I feel like they do that, or like,
I can't remember.
I feel like I see people go up, get their awards, but then they'll be like, it won't be with them afterwards.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get the real award and they're like, okay, thanks. We'll send this to you later. I don't know I
don't know how it works anymore, but I seem to remember like being like really proud, with my award.
When was the last time you went to AVN?
2018.
Wow.
I went just for fun because I was on my final feature dancing tour.
Okay.
And so I got booked to host a party, AVN night, and I was like, sure, I'll just go to the awards. They sat me in the front row, and then I think they got kind of mad because I had to leave in the middle to go to my hosting gig. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm getting paid thousands of dollars. I have to leave.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
But it was interesting. I presented with Charlotte Stokely and
love her.
Xander Corbus.
Love him.
And yeah, that was supposed to be my last time presenting. Although I'm actually thinking of attending the AVN Expo this next year.
Ooh.
For the first time since 2011.
I've never gone yet, so maybe
we should go.
Yeah.
We should go together.
So you're like the only person I feel like who I wouldn't feel overwhelmed or like you wouldn't want to do all the crazy stuff.
Well, now you can sell stuff.
Right.
Now you can sell stuff you used to not be able to sell stuff at AVN. You would just show and sign for free. All day. Oh, yeah, that's the way it used to be. And we used to spend thousands. I'm talking so much money on our outfits. I mean, I would go to AVN and every year between the convention outfits and my award outfits and my party outfits, I would spend at least $50,000 just on clothing. So it's a different game now. Now you see the conventions and girls are just wearing like pasties and like fishnets. Yeah. And I'm like, where's all the Dolce & Gabbana and all the designer stuff? I'm from a different era though. You know, I'm from a completely different era of adult. And so I don't judge anyone for what they wear, but it's just a different thing, you know, because I come from like the era of like Tara Patrick and Jenna Jameson and like, it was a lot more like it was coming off the 90s adult stuff. So it's very glam.
Yeah,
very glam, very high end, like sparkly everything and like, you know, designer shoes with all the glitter and like that was, you know, and now we're in a completely different industry.
I want to say it's like oversaturated or.
It is.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to upset anyone, but it's just
it's too much.
It's too much now. It's kind of just.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's, I don't know, turned me off from attending. But. Yeah.
I mean, I think the industry is oversaturated as a whole, you know.
As a whole, yeah.
When I was in the industry that we went to, when I first got in, there was a testing place called AIM that we all got tested at. That was set up by Sharon Mitchell, who also used to be an adult film star.
Oh, wow.
And there were like 800 people, both in all walks of adult work, whether it was gay, straight, bi, whatever.
Right.
There were about 800 people every month getting tested. And then right when I was retiring, I asked at the other testing place, I was like, how many people are actually getting tested on average? And they're like, oh, like 8,000 to 10,000 now. And I was like, oh, that is a big difference in 10 years, like a huge difference to see the industry grow that way. And now it's like because of high def camera phones and everything, people are just shooting all over the world now.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it used to be just based in San Fernando Valley, here in the San Fernando Valley where we are right now. It used to be just based here and it was a much smaller, close-knit group of people. You knew everybody. I knew my coworkers' wives. I knew their kids. I knew like what they were going through in their lives. And now it's like anybody can kind of get in the industry because of the internet and anyone can make their own stuff. So it's
for sure.
It's a completely different ballgame now. It's so wild to watch and see from my perspective.
I can only imagine. What do you think the industry will look like in another 10 years?
I don't know, but I have concerns.
Okay.
I have concerns. I like the OnlyFans thing. I do. For sure. Of course, I do it. I think it's an amazing stream of income. I do like being able to interact with my fans since I don't do conventions and stuff as much.
Right.
But I do think that it's giving an access to people that if it goes too far can cause a lot of problems for the industry and its fans, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of.
Because if like creators are already doing like custom videos and private video chat, but with this access and like, you know, there's no line of differentiation anymore really between the fans and the talent. It's like,
do you think the fans?
I worry.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not dismissing it, but because that's kind of what I've thought about, like it, and it kind of seems that way when you go on even just social media, that it's created this sort of entitlement.
Yes, it's exactly the word I was going to use. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's, that is the thing where, and it's, I don't know, people used to buy DVDs, buy posters. It was a different sort of fan base. And now it's kind of like, might be someone from your high school that is subscribed to your OnlyFans or someone who, it's like, it can be all types of different people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's people that are just, a lot of times it's always so funny when I see like the religious and like super right-wing people that have so much to say about an industry that has nothing to do with them online. Like, I'm like, why do people get so invested and lose sleep over something that they could easily ignore.
100%.
That's the only thing that it's a bummer with like the internet access and the oversaturation of everything and just seeing certain creators. Yeah, I don't know. It's for sure.
I mean, I'm from a different, like I said, I'm from a different era.
Yeah.
So like we didn't even self-promote ourselves. There was no social media.
The amount
there was nothing.
like,
My first movies were on VHS. So like, it's like way back. Like we had the companies to promote us.
Right.
We had box covers. We had signing gigs.
That's
we had
what I
magazines.
mean.
We had all of these things that would promote us. So we didn't have to do any of this self-promotion
Exactly.
or anything like this. And we were kind of separated.
Yeah.
There was a separation between us and the public where I feel like we were viewed more as like mysterious fantasy.
Well, yeah, you were stars.
Yeah.
You were celebrities.
And now it's more like,
Yeah. Like, she's just this girl I follow on Instagram. Or
and that's not to say there's not some amazing talent out there. Because there is some incredible talent out there. And there are some people who still carry that status of like, adult star rather than just adult performer. You know what I mean? There still are. I can think of like Angela White, Joanna Angel. Yeah. These are people, Alexis Texas, who still carry that like
for sure.
Lexi Bell, like I'm a star, you know, like they carry that weight. And then now we just have like a lot of like, no offense, because they're still making great content and they're hot and amazing people, but it's not the same. It's not the same stardom that it used to be. It's just not that level of like, because there's too many, like, I don't know half the people that are in the business anymore.
No. I feel like every week there's a new face popping up or someone's always doing something outrageous or saying something outrageous in order to get clicks and views. And that also is like, I get it. I don't know, some people got to do what they got to do with their marketing and that's works for them. But I've always been drawn to and always enjoyed at least the sticking to just like you can build your own brand and you can just be your own person and create a career the way you want to without having to do the TikToks and saying that you fucked 1,000 guys, even though who knows? I'm just like, I see all these clickbaity things in people.
Yeah, it really seems like it's a lot of about attention garnering, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, I feel like when I was active in the industry, it felt like it was a lot of people who really just loved having sex on film.
Exactly.
That's what they loved. That's why they were there. And now it's more of like the money, the fame, the attention.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of switched. But on the positive side for the changes of the industry, women are making, and all genders are making more money than I've ever seen.
For sure.
Right? Fabulous. Also, it's much more of an accepting industry. Yeah. We're seeing a lot more diversity. Yeah. We're seeing people of all walks of life being applauded for, the work that they create and stuff. And that is beautiful to me because I mean, I remember when I first started and people would tell me that if I did interracial, it was going to ruin my career. Oh my God. So yeah. And then when I did it, they were like, oh my God. And I was like, I don't see what the big deal is. Yeah. I really don't. No. But back then it was considered more of a big deal. For a contract girl to do an interracial scene was a big deal.
Right.
Ignorant as
ignorant as it is.
As fuck.
I know.
But yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just completely different. So I think there's positives and there's back to the beginning of the question.
For sure.
I think there's positives and there's negative aspects that have come with the changes in the industry. But as far as the future trajectory of the industry, I don't know, but I do have some concerns because I think that things are becoming also like, I don't want to say cheapened, but I think that like, you're just shooting stuff on your phone. Like, where's the production? Like, I want catering and I want multiple cameras and I want a lighting guy and I want a makeup artist and I want a wardrobe person. Yeah. And I think that maybe the art of it is either being changed or altered or just being destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's what I worry about.
Yeah.
I worry about that.
I hope we never lose the directors like Ricky Greenwood or Casey Calver or the production companies. I hope those will always stay alive.
Well, we've already lost so many production companies with the rise of tube sites. We've lost my company got decimated because of tube sites. Damn. So, But it's all about shifting yourself with the model, right? Like
Yeah.
with the business model and with the way that the industry is going. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't willing to work with the tube sites.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair. That's totally fair. You gotta stick to what feels good.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing that, I don't know, I've continued to do, and hopefully more people are inspired to do, but I get it. I get the people just want big numbers and big money. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you do you. Whatever
Yeah,
makes
you do
feel
you.
good.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing, again, about the industry is you
Mhm.
can do what works for you.
Yeah.
And that's always the biggest advice that I give to people is do what makes you happy. Don't do what other
Yeah.
people want you to do.
Exactly.
As long as you stay true to yourself and don't let people convince you into doing things that you don't want to do, or don't like fans who expect or want you to do something, you get coerced into like, oh, well, maybe I should do it for them.
Yeah.
But then it goes against your own values.
Exactly.
Or what you're comfortable with. So
Mhm.
yeah.
No, I still get so many messages on OF about certain talent to shoot with or certain things
Yeah.
to shoot. I'm like, okay, well.
Girl, I do. And I've been retired for 14 years and people are still like, when are you and so-and-so going to do a scene? I'm like, never, unless the company wants to pay me $10 million.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my whole thing. People keep saying, what would it take for you to come back? And I'm like, $10 million.
There you go.
I would come back and do a contract for a company, work for them for a year, do a few movies, do all the signings they want, 10 million.
There you go. I think that's a great
other than
number.
that, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, what advice would you give to a performer looking to retire soon?
Save your money. I mean, I always say, please don't spend your money on bags and stuff, because I made the mistake of like when I thought I was going to be in an adult industry forever. And I thought it was just going to last forever. I was like, I'll direct, I'll have a company, this is going to be my entire life. So, you blow a lot of money at the beginning. You do. Cause you just like, you go from making $575 as a waitress to making $3,000 in a day every day. And it's like, sure. So, I was going around and like blowing money on people and buying everyone drinks at the bar and buying everyone presents and stuff like that. And I think that I would have, if I had been a little bit more financially savvy at the beginning of my career, I would have a little bit more money. But I will also tell them to get a really great CPA. Make sure you set yourself up with a 401k and a Roth IRA. And yeah, make sure that you're planning, saving, buy a house. Invest in things like that. Don't spend all your money like just
you could get one
going
bag.
off to No, I mean, you should definitely indulge and you should spoil yourself and make yourself, but I
think mine's always just like dinners. Like
mine is dinners too. I just want to go out to dinner.
I just want to go out to dinner.
I'm more of an experience person now.
Yeah.
So I want
that's
the trips.
That's where I spend my money.
Yeah. I want the trips.
I always try and make sure like that's set aside even. Like, I'm going to spend this much on this trip. We're going to have fun.
Well, like my mom always said when I was growing up, you always make sure that your bills are paid first.
For sure.
You make sure all of that is done first. You stick some money in savings and then the rest of it is your play money.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
you guys just have fun.
And also maybe I would tell them to have a bit of a plan as far as where they want to go in the future and what they want to do. Because when I retired, I didn't really have a plan. I just literally shot a scene and then one day was like, I don't think I want to shoot a scene again. I thought about booking my next movie and then I was like, I don't really feel like performing anymore. And I was like, wow, this is the first time I felt like that.
Wow.
And I always said if I ever felt like that, I would just not do it anymore. And so then I was like, I don't really have to. I don't really want to. So I'm just not going to do it. But if I did it, if I thought about it before, I would have shot a ton of content beforehand. Right before I retired to have a whole bunch of stuff that I could slowly release.
For sure.
So yeah, if you're planning on retiring, that's what you should do. That's where I made my mistake.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't even do that.
Well, I mean, I think you're more like me.
I was kind of just like, I don't know if I want to do studios right now.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You always should put your own well-being and your own desires before, not before other people, but before like making money
and especially in an industry where people, I'm like, what was so attractive for me was how much say I have over my own career and body. And so just don't forget like that is the number one thing.
Yeah, you call the shots.
Yeah. And sometimes like a fat check isn't worth doing it. So
yeah. I totally agree. Like that's the thing women get, well, other genders too, they get in the industry, they don't realize that they have the power to call the shots. Or
you can, I feel like I see a lot of people just do auto drive. They just get in this like overworking habit of just because people offer you money. It feels good. It feels nice to not have to worry and just know that money is going to keep going.
Right? It's a fun job. You get to go to these beautiful locations.
Sure.
You get to like get your makeup done and like
have a funny script.
And have an amazing orgasm with someone.
Yeah.
Like that's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's really not. Yeah. I think it can get people forget to check in with their mental because they're so good at like their physical and they're like, okay, well, I feel fine. I feel good. And then
which is why it's
back
so
to
important.
back to back. And then you're like, oh, I hate this now. Oh, I want to nap. I feel so drained. Why do I feel this way? It's like,
which is why it's so important to have the therapy involved in the industry.
For sure.
Which is why I went the path I went. I retired and then I was like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I don't really know. And then I thought about it. And before I wanted to get into adult, I wanted to be a psychologist. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to take a class in psychology and see how it goes. And I did it and I loved it. And then I started thinking and I was like, well, when I tried to look for my therapist, I had a really hard time finding a therapist who did not judge me because as soon as they found out what I did for a living, they automatically saw me through a different lens. And also they would tell me that all of the reasons why I was going to therapy were because of the adult industry. And I was like, no, it's because of this terrible relationship I was in and some stuff that happened to me as a child. Like, it's not. It's actually, the industry was actually the happiest, like best, most like least stressful time of my life.
I healed so much sexual trauma by getting to shoot and have a say over my own body and realizing like, I don't know, like I built a different relationship with sex through getting to perform.
I love that. And that's one of the reasons I got in the industry too, is I wanted to explore my sexuality and I wanted to do all these kinky things.
Right.
And I wanted it to be done in a safe way. I didn't want to get murdered. I didn't want to get like beat up or dropped in a ditch somewhere or like, and I was already going to clubs and taking guys home. And I was like, this isn't really safe.
Yeah.
And so then I met a guy who knew somebody in the industry and then bam. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I can explore everything I like. I can do it in a safe way. I can gain a little fame and money.
Yeah.
So then, so then when I retired, I took a class and it clicked for me. I just was like, this is what I need to do. I need to primarily work with people in the adult industry as their therapist.
Yeah.
Because not only were people saying, were the therapists that I was seeing, were they saying like, oh, well, it's all the adults. It's all the adults. It's all the adults.
Yeah.
But they were also just like, treat me differently. And they didn't understand what my experience is like. They don't know what it's like to have a fan base who has this like intimate relationship with you, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to sign autographs or to tour or to have to be on camera or on set for 14 hours a day. They don't understand what it's like that people think that they know you, but they don't really know you. And so it's such a unique experience that like I'm hoping that through my therapy, I'll set up a private practice and I can work primarily with people in the adult industry and then also people in the creative industries, any actors, models, because it's such a unique experience.
It is. And a lot of therapists, that's just been their goal or their job as like since they got out of high school or something. And not a lot of, at least in my experience, a lot of therapists I've met, they've just been, that's what they've been practicing. They don't have the experience of being in entertainment or especially sex work.
Right. Like and I think it's valuable. If there were more
sex work friendly therapists, the world would heal.
Agree. It's very sad how they view us. But at the same time, everyone watches us.
Yeah. That's what's always so funny. It's like, I feel like when people get judgy, it's because they feel like we have this sense that we know that they've seen. Okay. Like, I feel like when people say it, they're like, oh, you're in that. Okay. I'm like, yeah.
The responses from people are always so varied.
Yeah.
But the questions.
Yeah. Literally anytime someone's like, I have like 20 questions right now on hand. Like, okay.
But they're always the basic same questions like we were talking about before, right?
For sure.
It's like, who's your favorite person to work with? Yeah. Do you regret doing it? Like
that's always a big one. Or like, yeah, they just
believe me, if I regretted it, you would know. Everybody would know. I would talk about it till cows come crying home or whatever the saying is. Like I would be, you'd know.
Yeah. Like I feel like they're like no one's making us do these interviews where we're positively like have a positive Yeah.
And that said, I know that not everybody has the experience that we have. I know that there are some people who have bad experiences, but I think that happens in every walk of life, in every occupation, right?
Yeah. There's the amount of people that have walked away from Hollywood, especially child actors.
Right.
Of course. Like,
yeah,
it can be a seedy experience in any sort of entertainment, I think. It's just people get entitled and people want things from you and they want you to do things and you have to be, that's what's so great about adult though. It's like you have to be an adult to do this.
Yeah.
Granted, sometimes people's frontal lobes are developed, so who knows? But
well, I mean,
for me, I was 24, so I was pretty
19.
But you seem like me in the sense where you've probably have just already lived so many lives that by the time you got to this industry, you're like, oh, I've got me and no one's gonna fuck with me and no one's gonna make me do anything I don't want to do.
It honestly just felt so natural for me.
Yeah.
It just felt like being on camera. I was never nervous. I was never like,
that's what I
was so excited.
I didn't tell anyone I was going to shoot my first scene when I went and shot it because I didn't want anyone to support or try to talk me out of it. I was like, I just want to see how I feel.
Do it on your own. Yeah.
And I did. I was like, this felt really easy and chill and not crazy. Like people have a very different idea of what a set is like.
Oh, they do. They do.
And it was not that. It was just.
People don't realize how much of a business it is.
It is.
And how much of an actual job it is.
Exactly.
Like when you're performing, you're not thinking about like, I mean, sure, of course it can be fun and it feels good, right?
Yeah.
And it can be amazing in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also thinking, where's the lighting guy? Where's the camera guy? Is this guy still like rock ready to go? Like, I got to make sure I'm keeping them. I got to make sure I'm looking good. I got to make sure my body's like arched the right way. I got to, be aware of all these other things that are going on. It's not just, people think, oh, it's just like you guys get a room. You just have fun and you just like have sex. And like, it's just like this.
Like, do you know how much planning and shot, like, it's like being on a movie set, but for your holes.
Well, I just saw a mainstream movie the other day we got to talk about.
Okay.
Because they showed actual sex. And I was like,
what? like penetrate.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know if you wanted me to talk about it right now.
We can bring it up in a second.
Okay.
I want to know a little bit more about you before we jump into other things.
It just made me think of it and I was like, oh, I bet she'd like that movie.
I mean, I've seen some movies.
Like Nymphomaniac, right?
Yeah. And
Nymphomaniac
then like
has full sex in it.
Blue is the warmest color.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was the longest girl scene ever. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, I get it. It's beautiful, but like, come on.
Yeah. And also like, I don't know if this was true, but I think I did read that those girls were like pretty like not stoked on set.
Oh, that's sad. I didn't know that. I thought they were like girlfriends or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't think either of those girls are gay in real life.
Oh no, you just ruined it for me.
I'm sorry. It's a beautiful movie and I love it.
It's okay. I have a new favorite anyways. It's Portrait of a Lady on Fire is like my favorite.
Okay. I haven't seen that one, but I've heard also great girl stuff.
Be prepared to cry. It's beautiful.
Who are some people that influenced you the most while you were growing up?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I'd have to say my sisters. I have 2 older sisters, and they are some of my best friends. So I think watching them, because there's a big age difference, they have a different dad than I do. So my one sister's 11 years older than me, and my other sister's 16 years older than me.
Wow.
So I think watching them, it kind of, I always admired them, and I always like aspired to be like them in ways. So I think they were good role models for me.
Awesome.
I also think, I mean, it's not somebody in my life, but I think that Madonna had a big impact on me. I started watching her when I was like 4 years old on MTV. So like I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for her. I'd also say my therapist. My therapist has been incredible. I've had her for like the last 14 years or something, 13 years or something.
That's a good relationship.
It took me 4 times and I found a therapist that I absolutely loved. And now it's great. And now I only go for what we call maintenance.
Okay.
So if something dramatic happens in my life, I just go for a little while and,
Love.
But I think there was one more person. Oh, my grandmother.
Oh.
I would say my grandma, she died when I was 11, and she was the most wonderful, strong, like beautiful, kind-hearted person. And so whenever I feel like I'm not embodying the characteristics or the kind of person I want to be, and I think, oh my God, I'm being kind of a shitty person. I think about my grandma and I say, you know, be like her.
Be like her.
Be like her. And I think about how wonderful she is. And then I also think I'm human. And,
Yeah.
You know, but I think that they've all impacted me in different ways. My mom also was inspiring to me, but in a different way. I saw the trouble she had growing up. And so that inspired me to kind of do the opposite in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Those are all good examples. What were some of your favorite memories from your childhood?
Oh, wow. Favorite memories from my childhood. Like, huh. I mean, one year, me and my sister, we dressed up as Madonna for Halloween, and that was really fun. Halloween was always fun for me.
Photos.
Halloween was always, I had my hair slicked back with the ponytail.
Love.
And everything in the pointed bra.
Pointed
like
bra,
the whole thing.
yes.
And I was like 11 years old. Not cool. Looking back on it, I'm like, But, you know, it was the 90s. It was a different time. We weren't aware of what was more appropriate, what wasn't.
Oh,
and plus, Madonna was everywhere.
I was like 10 years old dancing to the Pussycat Dolls. And now I'm like, okay, maybe.
Well, but that's growth, right? You look back and you say, oh, well, you know, that was a little problematic. But, you know,
a little
that's
problematic
okay.
for sure.
It's okay. We work and we grow. Yeah. But let's see. So definitely Halloweens were always a big deal. I love to dress up for Halloween. So I like one year I was a bunny, one year I was a witch, one year I was like a Cleopatra. Like it was really fun as a kid. I loved Halloween. I still love Halloween.
What was your favorite family dish growing up?
Oh, so my mom didn't cook very much.
No.
Okay. So my parents got divorced when I was 2.
Oh.
So I didn't really know them together ever, which is, I guess, fine.
Yeah.
You know? And my mom didn't really cook much. She was like the fast food queen. So I ate a lot of fast food with her. She did make Thanksgiving dinner every year though. And we have a family recipe for gravy that's just unreal. And she would make the best gravy. I make the best mashed potatoes in the world.
Oh
so that was like my favorite was Thanksgivings with my mom. And then my dad was a very healthy eater. He was opposite.
Okay.
And so he would take me fishing. And so we'd go fishing at the local lakes in his little fishing boat. And we would catch fresh fish and then we'd go home and cook it.
Oh,
and
that's
so
nice.
he would always make me things like pistachio crusted like rainbow trout type things, or like the breaded rainbow trout with like steamed vegetables and like those, you know, those
that's a good balance.
You know those Lipton butter noodles that you get that are in like the packet in the grocery store, and you like add water and butter and you heat them. They're like really cheap.
Probably.
I know this from my poor childhood, but we used to eat those. I love those butter noodles. I'll always love those butter noodles.
I love that.
But those are things that remind me of my childhood. Those meals for sure.
I had the opposite. My dad was the one who was like, never cooked because he was just a single dude, and then my mom was like, broccoli cashew soup.
Is that where you get the cooking stuff from?
Not really.
Oh.
she like would make a couple things. She's so funny because I've brought this up before, and then the other day she talked to me about it. She's like, I was a single mom. Like I only had so much sources to make food. And I was like, I wasn't saying it like that.
Did she say that recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just talked, one of the episodes released, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Well,
she is.
It's kind of nice. It's heartwarming that she listens to the podcast because
she listens
that
to it
was just
religiously.
came
I
out.
was
That's
like,
so sweet. Oh my
but
gosh.
now I'm like, okay.
I love seeing other people's relationships that are beautiful with their mothers. And yours is one of them that I'm always like on. I'm like, oh gosh, she has such a great relationship with her mom. It's so beautiful.
I do. I love her. But
she looks so young.
She is. She just turned 50.
Oh my God, she's like a child.
She had me when she was really young.
So wait, I'm closer to your mom's age than I am to your age. Wait a minute.
That's not unnormal. I'll say that with people I date and people I'm friends with.
I can see that. I can see that. I was shocked when you told me your age because I thought you were not by your looks, but by the way that you present yourself and the way that you talk. I thought that you were.
Actually, I mean, your presence is very wise, and I could tell you've lived a lot of lives. But yeah, when you told me, I'm like, how do you look? Even every time someone meets you, they're like, she looks like she's like still in her 20s. I don't know what's going on.
Thank you. But yeah, it's just good living.
Good living,
You know,
yeah.
good healthy eating. I do yoga all the time.
I feel like
work
yoga
out.
is a big one. Yeah. I've been
I
getting
meditate.
to-
I've been meditating every day for the last like 2 weeks, and it feels
Perfect.
incredible.
Yeah. I feel like, taking care of yourself on the inside is
Yeah.
the most important.
And also, like, don't do a lot of hard drugs, don't smoke cigarettes, and don't overdrink hard alcohol, because those things will age you.
For sure.
Hard alcohol is straight poison.
like just seeing all the people that smoke vapes right now, I'm just like, okay.
It's okay. They'll just get more filler.
There you go. That's true. We live in an age of vaping and filler, and people are good to go.
I'm just being silly. I didn't want that to sound very like
oh no, it's
cunty
fine.
or anything.
I feel like a lot of people that I know that live that kind of life are pretty like, they're okay with it. That's their life. They're like, it works for them.
Yeah.
Ooh, what was the worst job you had as a teen?
Oh, so the worst job I had as a teen, that is a really easy answer. So just to go through all my jobs before adult, my first job was at Taco Bell. My second job was at Toys R Us stocking shelves during Christmas. My third job was at Easy Lube helping the guys do oil changes. I know.
Oh my God.
The comedy writes itself right here. And then I worked at Marie Callender's as a pie girl.
Oh. Amazing.
So it's like tacos, Easy Lube.
Those are
toys,
all so different.
Pie.
Yeah.
Like it was all a setup for where I was going.
There you go. You're like, I gotta try everything.
It was
once.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But I think the worst out of those was the Easy Lube job.
Really?
I don't know. Well, so there was problems at every one of the jobs. At Easy Lube, I got sexually harassed by my boss, and I wish that I'd sued him or something. I was only like 16, 17 years old working there, and he gave me an adult DVD. And I was like, this is not appropriate. And then they wanted to drug test me, and I was smoking pot at the time. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to pass this. So I just quit the job. I was like, bye. At Taco Bell, somebody threw a burrito at me.
Oh my God.
In the drive-thru, which was not very nice. And
so rude.
at the pot at Marie Callender's, this is all exclusive. I've never told anybody
Oh
this.
my God.
And at Marie Callender's, when I worked there, the chef, I should have also reported them for sexual harassment. The chef I would always order a salad, and they forgot the cucumber on my salad. So you know where this is going. So I asked for the cucumber, and then they sent me a plate that had a cucumber that he had shaped and made it look like and then he had put eggs and then some mayonnaise. And he handed that to me, and I was like, oh, I'm 17 years old. Like, this is not okay. This is not appropriate.
My mind was
that's why when
thinking
people-
he was going to put his on the salad.
No,
I was like,
no, not that
That's
bad. Thank God.
insane.
Thank God, not that bad. But so when people say, oh, well, you know, like the adult industry is so like, it's so awful to you, and it's so like,
no.
and I was like, I've had more bad experiences of being sexually harassed, of being like sexually, I'm sorry, I'm probably not allowed to say that, of being like SA'd by, you know, I've had more experiences of that outside of way more. In fact, my industry, like there's only 2 days that I think that I was like, I shouldn't have done those scenes. And that was it. Out of 10 years. Which is great. But almost every job that I had before that, something as far as like sexual harassment happened.
And those are like
something as far as getting a burrito thrown at me. Like,
and those are all like big corporations.
Yeah.
Like those are places where they should for sure instill like.
So when people say that my former career was dehumanizing, I'm like, wait a minute.
It's probably
making $4.89 an hour working at Taco Bell and getting burritos thrown at me was way more dehumanizing than what I did on camera. So
exactly.
Yeah. So those are my jobs. That was the worst jobs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a great little history. I don't know what I was expecting, but that was
not it.
No, that was amazing.
Okay, good.
Ooh, what horror movie gave you the worst nightmare as a kid?
Okay, so as a child, no movies gave me nightmares. I started watching Freddy Krueger when I was like 6 or 7 years old. My mom, I'm the youngest. By the time she got to me, she was like, I got no energy for rules.
Yeah.
I had no curfew ever growing up. I was allowed to have boys spend the night as soon as I was dating. Like I had no rules at all. I was allowed to watch pretty scary stuff from a young age. I had to grow up really fast. You know, I had to basically take care of myself in a lot of ways because my mom was always working and never there. So I was kind of allowed to watch whatever I want. So nothing really gave me nightmares. I always just thought it was cool. I always was like, look at the special effects. How did they do that? That's so cool. Look at all that blood.
So from early on, you were kind of drawn to horror. Okay.
Always.
Wow.
Always. Scary books, the whole thing. I read all of Christopher Pike growing up, all of like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Anne Rice, anything like that. I was just like voraciously absorbing it because I was just so interested in this
I love that.
darker stuff, you know? But I think I just had a movie that I watched. In fact, it's the movie that we were just talking about that I said we should talk about.
Oh.
And I watched it. And after I watched it, I said, oh my God, I shouldn't have watched that before I went to bed. Like, oh my God, like I think I'm a little bit traumatized from that. And I don't think I've
Was
ever.
it a horror movie?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a movie do that to me. I've had one movie give me so much anxiety that it took me 6 hours to watch it. And that was Gaspar Noé's Climax.
Yeah. That one.
Whew, it's a brilliant film.
It is, but that one I was like
It's intense.
thrown off.
It's intense. I had to keep pausing it and being like, and then I was like, man, I'm so glad I don't party and do drugs anymore. I'm so glad I don't party and do drugs.
I was like, this feels like a manifestation of any bad trip.
100%. But brilliant
all
film,
in one
right?
movie.
But so recently I watched a film, and it's definitely going to be one that we do for my horror podcast.
Okay.
Once we resume shooting it again. But it's the one I want to talk to you about. It's called The Ugly Stepsister.
We can talk about it now.
Okay. So it's called The Ugly Stepsister.
Ugly Stepsister.
It's a foreign film, actually, too.
Okay.
It is. I love foreign films.
Yeah.
Anything I can watch with subtitles, I'm like, I love this. Because then I'm reading and watching at the same time. And it's like all my loves.
Yeah.
It's so great. But there were some things in it, like it's akin to The Substance in the fact that it's body horror.
Ooh.
But there were some things where I never have to look away from things. I mean, when I saw The Substance, I saw it in Australia with an Aussie guy that I was dating, and he had to keep looking away, and he was like horrified through half of it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's so cool. Did you see that? Like, I was all into it. But with this movie, The Ugly Stepsister, I actually had a couple moments where I had to look away and I had to pause because I was like, whew.
Like, this is a lot to take in.
That is an image that I'm never going to get out of my brain. And so while it didn't give me nightmares, real life gives me way more nightmares than movies ever will. Have you seen The State of the World?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very unsettled. And it followed me for a few days after where I was very, very unsettled.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love a good psychological thriller. I like anything that's going to make me feel like if he can make me feel unsettled and question everything.
Yes, and make me think.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Smile 2 yet?
No. Okay, that one's like.
Okay, so I just watched it the other night.
Not super into like physical stuff, but I like a little bit of horror, but that one I'm just like the mouth. I don't know.
It's creepy, right? I liked the second one better than the first one. But the second one left me feeling more unsettled because it's the perspective of a pop star. So she's dealing with like fans and things like that. And so there was a couple like scenarios that I was like, ooh. Yeah. Like she's signing autographs and these creepy guys come up. And I was just like, oh, that's a little close to home for me.
Yeah.
But it's worth watching, I think. Okay. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, horror is my genre.
I'll probably turn away from some physical stuff, but yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll get you more into it.
Yeah. Because I always have to just remember that, like, oh, it's all special effects. This is just really, people are just really good at their job.
So the funny thing is that the gory, the more violent, the more like bloody and disgusting it is, it does not creep me out or gross me out.
Right.
What does get me is movies like Contagion or Outbreak or things like that can like really like when COVID happened, I was like, great, this is like my worst nightmare. Cool, great.
Yeah.
Like what? Because like Contagion and Outbreak, they freaked me out a little because I was like, these things that could actually happen in the world. Like that's why I don't watch war movies. Yeah. Because war is devastating and it's heartbreaking and it's real. And I can't watch those movies because it just destroys me emotionally.
Yeah.
That's why like I don't mind. Like I like the campy, fun horror movies or the really creepy horror movies because I know it's not real. It's fun. It's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
It's an escape.
For sure.
But the movies that are like super realistic and traumatic about like things that could happen in people's lives that are just devastating. It just, my heart can't take it.
I get it.
I can't take it.
I get that for sure.
That was the longest answer I think I've ever given to a question.
Oh no, you're good. What's a life event that shaped you?
What?
A life event that has shaped you?
Oh, okay. So a life event that has shaped me. There's three things I think of when I hear that question. The first is the fact that I grew up really poor. So I think that by growing up poor, while it was hard as a child, it also made me ambitious. It made me resilient. It made me like a hard worker, made me a go-getter. You know, it also made me very generous because I know what it's like to be poor. Also, I was in a very difficult relationship about 14, 15 years ago. And that was one of the catalysts that got me to go to therapy that ended up helping me kind of decide that that was the path for my whole, like the path I was going to go on. So in a weird way, I'm actually really grateful to have had that horrible experience because not only did it set me on this trajectory, but it also made me aware of things that I don't want in a relationship, things I do want in a relationship, what I'm willing to compromise on, what I'm not willing to compromise. And it also made me develop a stronger sense of self-respect after that. So that was a big pivotal kind of moment. And then there was one more I thought of. Oh, my appendectomy, my emergency appendectomy. I was on an airplane and my appendix almost burst. I was on the way to Baltimore to do a show at a strip club. And we had to like land the plane and they had to like carry me off in like a stretcher and perform like emergency surgery on me. And it was incredibly terrifying. I didn't even have health insurance at the time. So it was like extra scary. But that experience made me value the time that I have here because it made me realize, oh my God, I could die at any time. Like, because the doctor—
That's a scary one.
When I went to the hospital, the doctor was like, you're so lucky that with the pressure in the plane, your appendix didn't burst in the plane because you would have been septic and it would have, the poison would have spread through your body and you could have died. And so like that happening made me start to live life even more to the fullest. And it also made me just go, oh God, I really need to take care of myself as well. Because I mean, even though I'm in my 20s, I could die.
No, the appendix is such a scary one because
I'm so glad it's gone.
I feel like it can happen to anyone.
It can.
It's any age. It's so scary.
And I got very lucky because the hospital that they took me to had the Da Vinci surgical machine.
Whoa.
So I don't have any scars whatsoever.
Ooh, nice.
Which is great. And they had to like cut me here and cut me here and cut me here and put a camera in me and fill me up with air. And oh yeah. I found out later that I could have asked for the footage and I wish I'd had the footage.
That'd be
so
that's
creepy.
like your own little horror movie.
I know. It's so creepy. I love it.
Actually, if you could pick a slasher movie to die in, what would you pick?
If I could pick a slasher movie to die in.
I feel like that. If it's that.
I mean, it would have to be Freddy Krueger, of course, because like
it'd be an honor.
He's always my favorite classic. Like I liked him way more than like Mike Myers or Jason because he dealt with the dream world.
Right.
And I am such I dream so vividly and so heavy and lucid dreaming and everything that like, I was like, dream world. They're going to come attack you in your dream world. That's
weirdly
terrifying.
Sensual about it.
You know, I never thought about that, Lumi, but I think you're right. There is a little bit more of a...
That he just, I don't know, he gets to crawl into your subconscious.
It's a little bit more like intimate, right?
Intimate, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think that like if I was to be killed, I mean, being in scary movies is one of my dreams. Right. And I've only gotten to do one. So.
Cast her.
Cast me. Yeah. Scary movies.
I want to see you in more scary movies. I want to
see me in more mainstream things anyways.
Yeah.
By the way, I really like your shoes.
Oh, thank you.
Off topic, but I really like those. Those are really cute.
Ooh, this is always one of my favorite questions to ask. What is something you wish more people noticed about you?
What is something that's a hard one. What is something I would want people to notice more about me? My intelligence.
Yeah.
I think. And my ethics. I have a really strong sense of ethics, and people think that because I did adult, I must have no morals.
Right.
And I must be like, but I'm so big on honesty. I'm so big on like not cheating. I'm so big on like all of these like really moral topics, and people like they just kind of
like, nah, you guys let everything fly.
I was like, no, actually I really don't.
If anything, I feel like again, like adult gave me more of like a strong sense of boundaries and ethics.
And people always think that we're not intelligent because we can't be intelligent if we chose that as our career, right? How could we ever have a brain on our shoulders?
It's so funny. Yeah, like some of the, especially like the biggest stars that I know are some of the most like intelligent women.
Joanna is brilliant. Joanna.
Oh, she's she's such a hustler, and so she's Same
with Angela White. Angela White has a master's degree.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize it, but like both on the male side, the female side, the non-binary side, there's a lot of really smart people in adult and people who are really talented and diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that I think gets lost in the public. They don't see that we're multifaceted, people with many aspects that make us wonderful, that the adult part is just a slim part of who we are.
Yeah. I'm hoping through this show, people see that and also appreciate it. But at the same time, I do understand with some fans, they want that fantasy. They're like, no, I just want her to be a dumb bimbo that I jerk off to. It's
okay,
all right.
then I'll play that in a movie for you.
For
but
sure.
off camera, that is not who I am.
No. And I'm like, you guys want to do a meet and greet? Like, where it's not going to be like that.
Yeah. No. I mean, people have, like I said, they have really skewed perceptions of what, the job is.
For sure.
Yeah.
But hopefully I hope that within where it's all going, that at least is part of the awareness. Is just like bringing more awareness to people on the other side of the camera, whether it's people that are fans of porn or people who want to end it. I hope like they see us for people, because even seeing like certain laws trying to be passed or certain things right now, I'm just like, you know how many people are just not going to have jobs?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's crazy to me, the laws that they're trying to pass, because I'm like, sex work has always existed. It will
it's
always
the oldest
exist.
Profession.
It will always exist in some form or another. There's nothing
true.
that you can do to stop it. The only thing that they're going to do with these laws is they're going to make it more unsafe for individuals to engage in the work, because they're going to do it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just about controlling our bodies and controlling, because you notice nobody seems to have issues when male porn stars make a ton of money. If you look at the comments on like Johnny Sins,
oh my God, I know,
compared to like a female star, it's very, very different.
Yeah.
But our patriarchal, exactly.
I literally had someone come up to me the other day, of course, like acknowledged me as me, but then was like, so you know Johnny? I'm like,
I knew Johnny. I was working with Johnny when he first started in the industry.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm like, you know Johnny on a different level. I know Johnny as he's been, but and he's lovely. He's such a lovely person, but men especially, like,
they idolize
him.
I know.
They idolize the Rocco Siffredis, the
I know,
Manuels, the Kieran.
But if a woman idolizes Jenna Jameson or Tara Patrick or Angela White, they're viewed as like,
oh, you're trashy.
Don't you aspire to be more?
Yeah.
And it's like,
okay.
But that's what we live in a patriarchal society that does not like when women harness their natural powers or their bodies for anything that gets them
what, I don't know,
attention or money or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm like, all these women I've met are some of the smartest women. And I can assume that because they realize that they can monetize on something.
Yeah.
They can monetize on their beauty or their skills.
Well, the thing is, for me, society and men in general were going to objectify me and sexualize me anyways.
I'm like,
so why
I'd
not
rather
do it on
get
my
paid.
own terms? Why not do it on my own terms?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call the shot. The power's in the pussy.
Hell yeah. Title of the podcast.
Yeah. That's what I always tell the ladies in the business when they get in. I'm like, the power's in the pussy. You call the shots.
Exactly.
If you are not comfortable with something, you do not do it.
And that, I'm like, you're the one that they're making the money off of. 100%. So make this day about you.
100%.
If I'm on set, I'm like, I'm enjoying myself. I'm not trying to be like a diva ever, but I'm definitely very aware of like, I'm the one who my name, my image is paid for all you today.
And that's not being like self-centered or
no,
like anything
it's
like
just,
that. No.
Again, just recognizing the powers in the.
It is. The powers in the. We can make a song about
exactly.
it. Because that's what sells,
Exactly.
And especially if a person comes in the industry and they are a really great performer and they do a really good job, like own that.
Oh, yeah.
Own it. Like
one of my best friends is Vanna Bardot, and I think she's one of the like only few that has that quality where you're like, oh, she's a star. She loves shooting. She loves the industry.
I
She's
like
good.
that.
And she's good at what she does. And she's a great actress. And I'm like, wow. Because, yeah, I see, including myself, like I feel like I love doing it, but I did not wholeheartedly show up probably in the way that like I see people like her do it. Like I'm always like, oh, I like it. I like doing this. I like going to only like a few sets. But there's some people that, I don't know, it's just like they were made to be a star. And she's one of them. I'm like, I love it and I love doing it. But I don't feel like I have that quality of like stardom because I'm even just like certain attention. I'm like, oh, hi.
It's just not for you, or it's just not. Yeah, you put as much as you want into it in the industry, and that's like I said earlier. Some people just want to do like self-feet pictures. Cool. That's the beauty of it all, you know, is that you can pick
There's
and
something
choose
for everyone,
and even in the world in general, you know, like. Find that thing that makes you be passionate. Find that things that gets your engine revving, like, and do it. Throw yourself into it because that's what life's all about.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like therapy and psychology. I read everything I can.
Yeah.
And if there's a book or a movie or a show or something that has like a therapist or a psychologist, and I'm like, oh, I'm extra interested in it now. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh. I think we have some producer questions.
No, actually,
okay.
We don't have time.
Okay.
Oh, we're sorry.
But this is also a really good spot to wrap it up anyways.
We
You did great.
do.
This was an amazing episode. Where can the fans find you?
Oh, yeah.
So 24 hours a day, you can always reach me at onlyfans.com/Jenna Haze. I also have my Instagram, my Twitter or X that you want to call. I'm at Jenna Haze. Facebook, I'm at The Real Jenna Haze. I also have a TikTok that I just started and a Blue Sky, but I don't really know how to use them very well and I haven't figured out what to do with them. So you can follow me on there. And yeah, I have like a Linktree page that's got all the links to all of my music videos, my merchandise store, which is shopjennahaze.com. And you can buy autographed pictures. You can buy posters. You can get them personalized. And you can even buy the outfits that I wore in certain movies. I've been selling outfits from different scenes that I've done or my feature dancing career. And so if you have a favorite scene of mine, or you have an outfit that I wore that you just love, you can buy it. You can buy it, you can enjoy it yourself, or you can frame it,
right?
Or you can put it on your partner.
Yeah. That's actually a really hot thought.
I saved everything from my career.
Are they clean?
Yes, I'm sure. Like, would they sell more if they were not clean? Or
they would sell more if they were not clean. But whenever I would get off a set, I would wash my clothes.
And do you have a fleshlight?
I do. I'm actually the third fleshlight girl of all time.
That's crazy.
So before me, there was a girl named Leah 19 and there was Tara Patrick. And so then there was me. And I actually did not want to sign with them because they were a beginning company. I did not know how it was going to go. They made it very worth my while to sign for them. And it's been the best deal I ever did in my career.
Love that.
I still earn a nice size check of residuals from them every month. I can't complain. And I think they're beautiful because I think that sex toys were very focused on only the woman's like side of it more, other than like cheesy blow up dolls and things like that for guys. Like the guy toys sucked. Yeah. And then along comes Fleshlight, and there you go.
Now you guys got something.
I've got two of them. I've got the kitty. I've got the back door, and I used to have the mouth, but they discontinued my mouth. But now I see they're bringing back mouths, so maybe they'll bring mine back. But I was the first girl to ever have a mouth as well.
Wow.
So yeah, Fleshlight's an amazing company. I do think they're oversaturated with girls now a bit, but it's just getting to be too much where it's not as much of a special thing because it used to be like if you were a Fleshlight girl, that was like so rare and so special to be one. But I'm very proud of the fact that I was like the third one ever.
That's a different kind of achievement. Like no one can ever say that.
Yeah.
So. And you guys know where to find me. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. I can't wait to have dinner with you again.
Yay.
I can't wait to travel with you.